The air in the district of Oldstone always tasted of ash and forgotten dreams, a metallic tang from the constant hum of the authorities' surveillance towers that loomed like skeletal giants over every block. Ilara, a weaver by trade, felt it cling to her throat, a persistent dryness that no amount of water could fully quench. Her fingers, nimble and precise with threads of muted gray and brown, often trembled not from cold, but from a quiet, internal tremor that mirrored the city's suppressed fear. For years, she had watched, head bowed, as the authorities' enforcers marched through the cobblestone streets, their heavy boots a rhythmic declaration of ownership over every breath. But today, the tremor was different. It began when she saw old Master Boren, the baker whose bread had fed her family for generations, being roughly hauled away for daring to sell his loaves a single coin below the official price. His cry, sharp and brief, had echoed in the narrow alley, startling the pigeons into a frantic flapping assent. That cry had pierced through Ilara's practiced indifference, a shard of ice cracking the protective shell she had built around her heart. It wasn't just Boren. It was the hungry eyes of the children, the silent despair of the elders, the slow, agonizing erosion of dignity for everyone in Oldstone. That evening, as the perpetual twilight of the city settled, casting long, distorted shadows, Ilara found herself not at her loom, but in the clandestine quiet of the old clockmaker's guild hall. Dust motes danced in the single shaft of moonlight filtering through a grimy window, illuminating the determined faces of a dozen others. They were tradespeople, dock workers, even a disgraced scribe, all bound by the same gnawing indignation. A woman named Lyra, her eyes like polished flint, spoke in hushed, urgent tones about stolen rations and false accusations. Her voice, though soft, carried the weight of unyielding conviction. Ilara's own voice, usually as soft as the finest linen, felt like a foreign object when she finally spoke. "They took Master Boren," she said, the words catching in her throat, "for a loaf of bread." The simple truth hung heavy in the air, a stark reminder of their collective plight. A murmur rippled through the group, a shared wave of anger and sorrow. It was Lyra who met Ilara's gaze, a knowing light in her eyes. "What will you do about it, Ilara of Oldstone?" The question hung in the silence, a challenge and an invitation. Ilara looked around, seeing not just fear in those faces, but a burgeoning hope, a spark of defiance reflected back at her. Her hands still trembled, but now it was with a different kind of energy, a potent mix of terror and resolve. She thought of Master Boren, of the children, of the silent city, and in that moment the fight that had been a distant, abstract concept solidified into something real, something she could grasp. She would fight, not with a sword, but with a different kind of weapon, the truth, woven into every whispered word, every shared grievance, every small defiant act, until the ash in the air was finally replaced by the clear, sharp scent of freedom. Her cause was simple: to make sure no more bells tolled for injustice.